it's your girl Fairy Queens here, and welcome back to another video. How are you guys doing today? I hope you're doing amazing. I am not. It is apparent that somebody is coming for my livelihood, calling it weird and irrelevant. And he goes by the name Billiam. So, first off, Billiam, who do you think you are? Running around leaving scars. It's not nice. Anyway, as you can see right here, Billiam made a video about 1 month ago. He said Wizard101 was weird. He said it was forgotten. Oh! And apparently, Hey Docs said this as well. I would like to have a word with you, both of you. Wizard101 is well, Wizard101 is alive, Wizard101 is thriving! Sorry, I just get a little bit overprotective whenever I'm thinking about Wiz. Anyway, I am going to be reacting to, quote, Wizard101 Was Weird. Forgotten MMO still exists. Billiam featuring Hey Docs. I'm going to be reacting to this 18-minute video, and I just want to see what exactly these people have to say about my game. Before we start this, I just want to comment that there's literally a video in the recommended titled, Is Wizard101 Dying? That is such a funny coincidence. It's not, by the way. If you watched that video, you would see that I just had some ideas that I think if KingsIsle were to implement them into Wizard101, it would do wonders for their game. I think at one point the game's popularity was definitely declining, but keep in mind that that video was filmed over 2 months ago, and I think because of coronavirus and the quarantine, it's actually really helped the game. I still think that this game is full of life, and I still think there is so much to offer, and I can't wait to see where the game goes. But let's see what Billiam has to say. Here we go.
MMOs were coming out like clockwork in the early 2000s. The allure of membership fees was just way too much for any company to ignore. I mean, the MMO formula back then was pretty simple to crack. Step 1, create a giant world with missions that take forever to complete. Step 2, make a leveling system that takes forever to make progress in. And step 3, create a world that's just charming enough, and boom, you captured an audience that's willing to pay the $9.95 membership fee until the day they die. Please ask your parents before going online, or steal their credit card while they're not looking. Both options have their risks.
I never did that.
Today, we're talking about Wizards101.
Did this man just say Wizards 101? Hold on.
Today, we're talking about Wizards101.
How are you going to come at Wizard101 and call it Wizards101?
Wizard101 features an ever-expanding story, characters, world, and lore that has been appreciated by all sorts of fans. I mean, dang, I stan Merle Ambrose. Cute little wrinkles.
Me too.
And despite being lodged in the distant memory part of your brain, it's actually still around and still receiving updates. Look at those HD textures. They're so HD. So it's finally out. So let's go say hi to Wizard Nick Jonas, Wizard Selena Gomez, and take a look at Wizard101. Before we continue, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to today's sponsor, Raycon. You can use my link in the description now. And then 3 years later, in 2008, KingsIsle announced their existence alongside an aggressive and competitive marketing campaign for their first game, Wizard101, or as I like to call it, Wizards101. Who will...
Why would you call it that whenever you know that's not the name?
Quickly gained a following, and by 2011, it amassed over 20 million players, none of which were me. The game has many themed worlds, like Bearland, alongside thousands of other Wiz kids. Considering I wouldn't be able to explore many parts of this game without a higher level wizard escorting me around, I've invited Paul Ironblade Docs to show me around Wizard City. Consider introducing yourself.
Hi.
Alright, missions in quest in this game are pretty standard warp fitted. In combat, you have a deck comprised of damage, modifiers, and support cards which are randomly shuffled before the beginning of each encounter. Meaning you can absolutely start the fight with a bad draw, but some player control is given by sacrificing lesser cards to draw more powerful one-time use golden cards. Each costs a certain number of pips, these little glowy guys, and each...
I think he's talking about treasure cards, like you can discard and you can pass, and then you'll have a new set next time, or you can discard and then you can draw and you can get treasure cards.
Turn, you gain a new pip. Sometimes one might be a power pip. 2 glowy guys for the price of 1.
There's also crit bonuses from Celestia, the pet spells that you can get because you can train all of these different pets. There's more advanced stuff that you can do with a different level of...
Hey Doc, save that for Wizard101, please.
Hold on, he's actually right. Like, there's so much more to this game, and there's actually things that you can do to increase how you play this game. Like, for example, what Haydox was saying, like pet training, that is so crucial in Wizard101. Like, that is definitely something that older players who have the ability to, like, have good pets, that's an advantage that they have over newer players, because it's a lot harder for a new player or a new account to make good pets. So he's actually right about that.
And here's where your school of choice comes in. Balance, life, ice, storm, fire, myth, and the one that Merle picked for me, death. Each school comes with
And moon.
its own strengths and weaknesses, and by that I mean if you're a life wizard, good luck.
I picked life.
Balance tends to focus on building turns for higher damage output or buffing friends and undermining opponents. Death can do some moderate numbers, but the trade-off is that their spells suck enemies out of their life for your benefit. Storm is
Yes.
raw power, but it fizzles a lot, and life sucks.
No, it doesn't. You should definitely add that life is really, really good. It's also a support school, and it definitely heals other people, so you should definitely mention that. There's nothing wrong with the School of Life. There literally isn't. Like, every MMO RPG that has classes has a life school. It's just called something different. People who want to support and heal other people will choose the School of Life, and if we didn't have a School of Life, we would be in a lot of trouble.
Some of these spells go crazy. I mean, here's my little leprechaun friend who hacks your shit up while reciting beautiful poetry. There's this colossal frost giant, which they used in several ads despite taking 2 months membership minimum to acquire. My favorite is the Call of Cthulhu, a Walmart generic brand tentacle beast monster compared to active ingredients in Cthulhu.
Needless to say,
Ooh.
if you played Wizard101, seeing new animations and gaining new spell cards was the hook to keep you coming back. I got addicted because my 3rd grade crush came over one day and said, "Mario Sunshine, we're playing Wizards101!" So I grinded for her to show her a death card.
It's not Wizards101, it's Wizard101.
Random drops in gold, the game's non-premium currency. Like real life, with gold, you can buy all sorts of accessories and friends. However, a
Like
lot of
real
the
life.
really cool stuff has to be purchased with crowns, the game's premium currency. You could quickly sink a lot of money into the game if you get into it enough. At around 10 USD for 5,000 crowns, you'll quickly take out that second mortgage on the house your grandmother left you. And while the bank might foreclose on Nana's childhood home, they can't repossess your jewel scarab beetle. Crowns can buy a lot of things, but most importantly, my best friend Princess Samantha. A million poets working for a million years could not describe how I feel for this here pal of mine here. You could just have your over-leveled friend show you around. I have avoided every single one of these enemies in later areas because I will literally die after the first turn. I am so scared.
While Billiam here makes a mockery of the rich tapestry that is the lore, there's
Okay, wait. I just want to say something. I definitely am getting the vibe that Haydox knows a little bit more about this game than Billiam, because he literally has a noob character, so I'm just kind of wanting to listen to what Haydox says about this. They've definitely done their research, but in some ways, I feel like they're just kind of glossing over, like, the outline of Wizard101, and they're not really getting into full detail. There are literally still clans in this game. There are literally still active content creators who have thousands of subscribers. I'm wondering if they're going to touch on PvP and not just really the outline of this game, because there's so much more to it.
But at the same time, Moriarty, a notorious crime lord, is freed by Malistaire to steal the book before you...
Wait, who's Malistaire? What the heck is the Croconomicon? Meowiarty? Like cats? I love cats! Hi, baby. Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Aw.
I appreciate you.
I've been dying to talk about Malistaire's dead wife, Sylvia. Seems like old Malistaire is still for his dead wife, Sylvia, because he The first arc is pretty cliche, but it leads to a fairly emotional send-off for both Malistaire and Sylvia. It's pretty nice.
Alright, the wiki says the next arc is spiders and bigger spiders after that.
The wiki says it.
But if you want to make it big in the wizarding world quickly, you totally can. I have some tips and tricks for those of you who want to be pro players. If you're looking to move your way up in the world quickly, consider this. Have more money. Access to the other worlds beyond Wizard City is behind, of course, a paywall. At least Wizard101 gives you a few options for payment. The first is a pay-to-play model, where you pay a crown fee to access individual areas. This option really is ridiculous, unless you really just want to access one particular world. I mean, the Viking Bears are totally worth it, but Fire Tat Alley, forget about it.
Okay, first of all, what he just said makes absolutely no sense because you can't just pick and choose what areas you want to pay for. I mean, you can, but you're gonna end up having to pay for all of them if you don't want to get a membership. You literally cannot advance in the game by picking and choosing what areas you do. You have to complete all of them in the same order.
You can end up spending a metric butt ton if you want to access everything individually.
There are actually a lot of people who buy that, like they buy the whole game with crowns, and I think it totals up to around $200. But I have always done it with memberships. I think if I were to add up every single payment that I have made in this game, it would be well over $400. So the people who buy it with crowns aren't that ridiculous. If you know that you're gonna play it, I would do it. For me, I've just taken breaks, but yeah, I played since 2011, it's 2020 now. So yes, it is a play-to-win game, but how else would they make their money? You have to keep that in mind though, there are literally thousands of people who play this game, and to keep those servers up, I bet it's expensive.
The much better option now is the monthly membership. You get access to everything at once for $10 a month, as long as you don't
Like I said, that's not exactly true.
Between accessories, clubhouse customizations, pets, mounts, mount accessories, dear Princess Samantha.
Clubhouse? What? We do not have clubhouses in Wiz, we have castles.
There's plenty to spend money on in Wizards101. It's pretty common for long-running MMOs to eventually get to the point where the player base isn't as large as it once was, but the game is able to stay afloat thanks to whales. Thank you, whales. Whales are players who spend an unreasonable to you amount of money on a game. I mean, some players have multiple decked out wizards over multiple accounts, an army of...
That's not an issue. There's no amount deemed unreasonable if it's something that they enjoy doing. People are proud of their accounts. People are proud of their wizards and they like to showcase that. As long as they can afford it, it's their choice because it's their money. There's absolutely nothing wrong with whales.
Could have made their way through the game's major storylines multiple times. With an ever-relying importance on gift cards, many people tried to crack the key generator code to produce their own gift cards. Sites and YouTube videos offering free Wizard101 crowns popped up everywhere. Wizard101's popularity declined at a rate that is pretty similar to every other old MMO. New stuff came along, old players lost interest, but the whales kept playing.
Wizard101 players speculate about shady management, favoritism within the community for feedback, and unorganized workplace management for the game's decline, but let's just call it a day and blame Pirate101, the game's successor. This is a baseless claim.
What? 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 Wait, what are they saying right now? Are they saying that Wizard101 has declined because of Pirate101?
Oh, and by the way, if you share this video, if you comment, if you like it, if you share it with all of your friends, your family, your house representatives, then you can be entered in a chance to win free crowns, free...
Okay, I see a lot of what they're trying to say, but can I just say that Wizard101 is in no way declining? No, it's definitely not at its peak. Its peak was whenever it was first released, but it's definitely not on a downward slope either. And I can say that just as a player and as a content creator, I have seen the number of players increase, especially within these past few months. Now, a lot of that may be because of coronavirus and quarantine, but it's definitely in no way declining. If anything, I think it's kind of on an upward slope right now. And also, another thing that I wanted to touch on is that Wizard101 is KingsIsle's biggest moneymaker. Wizard101 actually gets updated quite frequently. Pirate101 doesn't. And yes, KingsIsle is making mobile games, but those do not compare or compete with Wizard101 whatsoever. And honestly, I hate to say this, but Pirate101 doesn't either.
We're working on this for 2 years, but I wouldn't have been able to do it without him. Would you like to say anything?
Billiam, if you ever call it Wizards101 again, I'll be upset. And I already am.
Well, alright then. Anyways, I'm tired, I'm stressed, I will see you next week.
Thank you, Haydox. It is not Wizards101, it is Wizard101. So I think a lot of that video was just supposed to be like funny and everything and like going over a game that people think is dead, but it certainly is not. And I definitely wouldn't call myself a Wizard101 pro, but like, I might be a Wizard101 pro. No, for real. Like, they've totally just outlined the game. And maybe that was the point of the video, but can I just say that it's not as dead as that video made it seem? And it's so much more in-depth than that video made it seem. I have been playing Wizard101 since 2011, and I have been making content on it for over a year now. Wizard101 is the best game that I've ever played, and I'm not even a whale. Why weren't you guys going to tell me that my light is messed up? Oh, hold on. Let me just fix that real quick. Okay, as I was saying, I know he made it seem like it is pay to win, and I agreed with that. However, you don't have to have crowns. That's literally just an additional option if you want to look cool. And even then, there are ways to get free crowns. And they're perfectly legal. It's not like crown generators or anything like that. KingsIsle actually has Wizard101 trivia, and you can answer them and get free crowns. You can actually get 100 free crowns a day by doing 10 trivias. There's ways to get around it, I promise. In total, I've probably only purchased crowns like 4 or 5 times throughout my 10 years of playing it. And this was totally voluntary. This wasn't something that I needed, this was just because I wanted to. Really, the only thing you need is a membership or just crowns to purchase the worlds. And that is completely your decision. Anyway, just reacting to this video as a Wizard101 content creator and active Wizard101 player, I would say that this just kind of skimmed over the game. But Wizard101 is not forgotten, it's actually thriving, and there is so much more to it than what they covered in that video. They didn't even mention PvP, and they didn't even cover Imperia or Darkmoor or Catacombs. They didn't even cover all of that stuff. Like, there's so much more to it, you guys. Anyway, I did think it was a pretty interesting video, and it's nice to see bigger content creators making videos over it as well. So let me know what your thoughts are down in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up and a comment down below. Bye!